Hello and welcome to the Agri-Learn podcast. I'm your host, Raina Nala, a full-time emerging commercial farmer, as well as the brand ambassador for the Women and Youth Loan Scheme at the Agricultural Bank of Namibia. Today, I'm joined by Mr. Erastus Ngaruka, who is a technical advisor at the Agricultural Bank of Namibia, specializing in rangeland and livestock production. Mr. Ngaruka, thank you for joining us once again.
Welcome and thanks for having me.
Awesome. Now today we're talking about agro-processing. What is your definition of agro-processing?
Yes, thank you. The moment you mention agro, so that's agriculture. So it should be an agricultural product that you have to transform from its original form into a form that can be more or that can be efficiently be utilized. So it's more of adding value to that original form into a form that will either add value to the product itself and as well to the user.
Okay. So it's more of value addition.
Value addition. For example, this is a pot. If you crush it, you have transformed it from this original form into something that maybe the animals can easily eat.
Okay. Wonderful. Now let's talk about the advancement of agro-processing in Namibia. How well advanced is agro-processing in Namibia?
Yeah, I think that's one of the growing industries in the country. We have these commercialized processors, these big companies like, for example, Namib Mills and so forth. So they are doing it on a larger scale. And then now there's also promotion of these small-scale agricultural producers who are now have to process their own feeds or their own food for their animals or for themselves. So we have millers, especially in the northern areas, who are, after harvesting their mahangu or their maize, they have some small hammer mills that process them. So it's a growing industry.
Okay. On to my next question. With Namibia importing $1 million worth of processed product, why is it important for our farmers to understand and venture into agro-processing?
All right. One thing, when we are talking of Namibian farmers, much of the cost goes into buying food. Okay. So yes, I'm a farmer, I have to eat, but where am I getting that food from? I'm buying it from the supermarkets. But yet I have my crop field that I can use as my food resource. So it's very important that now they should start upscaling their knowledge with regard to transforming these products from their own resources, turn them into what they can eat themselves. So that is now, you are reducing your costs and you are also eating what you are producing and you are producing what you can eat. So that's the bottom line.
Okay.
Cost cutting and producing what you can eat and eat what you produce.
Wonderful. All right, now tell us more about the value addition process, and can you give us some practical examples in the agricultural space?
Value addition, it's a transformation, changing that food from its original form into another. So what can that be? For example, you take these pots. When you're talking of livestock farmers, they always have to feed their animals for whatever purpose, but then for them, they have resources around them. They have trees like the camel thorn trees that produces these pots. So what do they have to do? What do they need from the pot? They need protein from here. And they have to ensure that that protein is taken in by the animal. So they have to crush it with a hammer mill. And then that will be now a fine form that the animals can easily eat and also digest it. So for them, after crushing, is just to add a few commercial ingredients to add more value or to increase the nutritional quality of this pot. And with maize, the same. It's corn, you crush it so that you are able to easily cook it and also eat it.
All right. Awesome. Now, what are some of the benefits of agro-processing?
As I've said earlier, you are producing what you can eat and you are eating what you produce. You are cutting costs on buying things that were already processed from elsewhere that you don't know how they were processed, what ingredients were added there, but at least you have your own resources that you know how you planted them, how you grew them, and now your processing methods are methods that you are sure of that they are adding the value that you want from that product.
All right. And what are some of the risks involved with regards to agro-processing, and how can our farmers mitigate those risks?
this is food.
Yeah.
And if food is not well processed, not well prepared, it's a health hazard. So it's all about hygiene. It's all about the method that you are using. It should not be harmful. It should not add any extra harmful substances to the food.
Yeah.
Maybe you have crushed this pot. Now you want to make sure that the animals are eating it. Any other ingredient that you are adding to this one should not cause any harm. So those are the risks. It's all about the poisoning that can come from any food production.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Now, on to my last question. Your advice to our farmers out there with regards to agro-processing.
Yes, let us minimize cost of feeding ourselves and the cost of feeding our animals. Let us use the resources around us that we have. Let us add value to what we have. Let us make sure that whatever mixture we want to come out with is useful and it is bringing change to your animals or to yourself. So please produce what you can eat and eat what you produce.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Right, thank you, Mr. Ngaruka, for taking time from your busy schedule to be on this episode. Once again, we highly appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Awesome.
Yeah.
We're here at Farm Groot-Trooiwald in the Omaheke region. Now, as mentioned earlier in our agro-processing discussion with Mr. Ngaruka, we are here on site to see and hear more about agro-processing. Mr. Ngaruka, please take it away. What do we have?
Yes, thank you. So when you're talking about agro-processing, it involves transforming the form, the product in its original form into another useful form, or a better useful form. All right, so what do you need? You need machinery, you need the right equipment, and you need the skill as well. All right, so now here, this is a hammer mill. This is the machine that a farmer can use to process anything. Can be it crop residues, it can be pods, it can be even your corn, your maize, into a form that you would want them to. Okay. All right, so now, as an example, this is a livestock farmer here at Groot-Trooiwald, and she needs feed for her animals, and she has to minimize the feeding costs. So by that, she is complementing by any resource that is around her. It can be her crop field, and even pots. She has camelthorn tree, so which produces pots. For example, here they are. These are the camelthorn pots that she uses. So what is it that you need from here? You need the nutrient, and most importantly, you also need the protein from here, which is in the brown seed that is inside here. Okay. So for you to benefit from that, you need to crack or break that seed, that brown small seed, isn't it? So, and the machine can do it. All right, so that's how you transform that for you to benefit from that and also to benefit the animal. All right, so processing, it also involves, why do we have to process, by the way? The purpose of processing, it will also make life easier for you. Number one, it will allow the animal to eat whatever you process very easily and even digest it very easily. It will also allow you to mix whatever ingredients you are using to mix easily with your feedstuff that you process. Yeah, for example, these are crop residues, all right? And I'm seeing many farmers putting animals into their crop fields just to have to eat this. It's difficult and it's not also beneficial. So it's better to break them into such a form so that it mixes easily with other ingredients that you want to add value. All right?
So a mixture of the
pots, the crop residues, and any other thing on your farm. Yes. So they will mix easier once they are processed or milled. All right. So then make sure that whatever you process is edible or is useful. If you are to feed that to your animals, make sure you also do a trial, not just take anything and just give to your animals. You need to also observe, is it useful? Are they eating it? And what change or what effect can they have on the animal? So it's not just processing and just giving. You need to be observant how your animals react to it. Definitely. Awesome. Right. Good. Thank you so much, Mr. Ngaruka. Welcome.
This was a very interesting session.
So here, the feeding cost minimized.
Totally.
Yes. Yeah. So if you use any resource that is around you, if you have the right machinery, invest in this machinery. Yeah. It's a lifelong investment.
What is it called, by the way?
It's a hammer mill.
It's a hammer mill.
Yeah. Good.
Awesome. Well, farmers, that's all we had for you on today's episode titled Agro-Processing. For more information on the Agro-Processing loan product, do make sure to contact your nearest Agribank branch. Until then, it's bye-bye.